Banger after banger.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Kris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post, you already know the vibes, man. And is it just me, or does anybody else have wild things stuck in their head? It's not just me? Alright, cool. If it's not just me, leave a like on this video, please, for the love of God, because that song is just stuck in my head. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm here with your AEW Double or Nothing review. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The build for this was butt cheeks. But I was willing to give this a shot because, you know, AEW normally delivers on their pay-per-views. Like, the card will be good, the matches will be good. So it's kind of like, alright, the build might suck, but I'll give it a pass because I know the overall show will deliver. And I'm not gonna lie to you, for the first half of this show, man, I was kind of ready to throw in the towel, man. I was watching this and I was watching NXT at the same time, and for a majority of the first half of this pay-per-view, I was paying a little bit more attention to NXT. But it did pick up in the end, so let's talk about this show. Let's kick it off with the buy-in, the pre-show match. And it was between the Hardy Boys and Hook taking on Ethan Page and the Ass Boys. The Hardy Boys won. Ultimately, this was for control of Ethan Page's contract. It is what it is, man. Jeff Hardy, oh, brother Nero, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's been a while since he's wrestled or if he hurt himself, or I don't know what happened. But there was a couple of spots during the match where he went for a twist of fate and he kind of messed up a little bit, and then he botched on the Whisper in the Wind. And I'm like, man, the Hardy Boys are washed, man. I grew up on these dudes. They're one of my favorite tag teams, one of my favorite all-time tag teams. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see the Hardy Boys go out like this, man. They're old, they're washed. It might be time to see him hang up those Jinko jeans, man. Just fold them up and put them in the drawer, man. Just hang it up. I don't know. But the Hardy Boys win. They're now in control of Ethan Page's contract. Whoop-de-doo, cool. Okay. Now we'll go into the actual show, the actual matches, the actual card. And it started off with the 21 Blackjack Battle Royale. And it was okay. It was fine. The way it started was like all the competitors were outside of the ring. It kind of reminded me of some stuff Impact would do back in the day. TNA, it was kind of like some stuff TNA would do back in the day. Like it was like a reverse battle royale where you weren't really officially in the match until you made your way into the ring. So you had people doing dives and flips out the ring, all types of stuff going on. Commander was doing flips, the Lucha Brothers, and all the luchadors, they worked together. That was a pretty cool sight to see. And Big Bill, everyone loves Big Bill. Big Bill, he was kind of the star of the show, man. He was kind of showing off a little bit, throwing people, getting some eliminations. There was a point in time where I was thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Bill won. The final four came down to Big Bill, Penta, Orange Cassidy, and Swerve. Penta went out first. Big Bill got eliminated next. And then it came down to Swerve and Orange Cassidy. And I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing these two actually wrestle a match for the international title. And there was a brief period during the match where I was thinking Swerve was going to take it. And Orange Cassidy won. What happened was they were both on the outside of the ring. They were hitting each other with moves, big moves. Swerve went for the Swerve Stomp. Orange Cassidy got up. Swerve was kind of like hanging on to the side of the rope, and it looked like he was fueling up for the Orange Punch. And what Orange Cassidy ended up doing was just kicking Swerve's hand off the rope, and Swerve fell over. Smart move. Orange Cassidy somehow overcame the odds, survived 21 other men, and he's still your international champion. It was an okay match. It wasn't really nothing to write home about. It was fun, kind of keeping in the tradition of Orange Cassidy opening up these shows. So he lives to fight another day. I'm kind of interested to see who's going to be the one that does finally beat Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy keeps finding ways to survive and ways to win and retain his title. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be that one that can beat Orange Cassidy. Alright, so next up we had the unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. Now, going into this match, I was a little excited for it. Normally these Jericho feuds, they start off good and then you think they're over, and it's not over. They keep going. And we're getting some of that right now, because the match was fine. It was okay. Sabu came out. He was wild out. He was throwing chairs. You had the Jericho Appreciation Society out there. You had Roderick Strong out there. They were all fighting. Jim Ross was losing his mind. He was like, I want to see a one-on-one match, even though it was unsanctioned. But I understand what he was saying. I understand what he was getting at. Britt Baker came out and hit Chris Jericho with a kendo stick. She beat up Chris Jericho and Saraya, who came out to try to like even the odds, I guess. She beat Saraya back to the back. And how this match ended up ending was Adam Cole had the chain wrapped around his fist, and he was just beating the hell out of Chris Jericho, and the referee ended up stopping the match. And I'm like, hold up. I know this isn't gonna count because it's unsanctioned and it's like AEW isn't responsible, but you kind of still want to see like a definitive win, like a pinfall or submission or something like that. Stopping it, even though it's unsanctioned and nobody's gonna be responsible for it, it was kind of weak. The ending was kind of weak, and the crowd was kind of weak for this too. Another thing I gotta mention was how the crowd was bad for a good chunk of this show, man. It was a very quiet crowd. It didn't seem like they were really into it. They picked up into the show like in the latter part of the show, but for the first part, it was weak. But yeah, Adam Cole beat Chris Jericho, and this pissed off Chris Jericho so bad that later in the night he announced that him and Saraya have laid out the challenge for Adam Cole and Britt Baker to have a match this Wednesday on Dynamite. I don't want to see this at all. I don't think nobody wants to see this. We want to see this end. We want to see Adam Cole do something else, but apparently this is going to continue. Help me, Holy Ghost. Help me, Jesus. Whew. Alright, so next up we had FTR taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal for the AEW Tag Team titles with Mark Briscoe as a special guest referee. Now, under normal circumstances, this would have been a really fun match, but like I said earlier, the crowd kind of sucked, and that kind of took away from the match a little bit. I feel like if the crowd was into it a little bit more, this would have enhanced the match just a little bit more for me. It was still fun, but it was still kind of like, man, can the crowd like get excited for this a little bit, make some noise? They got excited towards the end when the shenanigans started popping off. Karen Jarrett hit Aubrey Edwards with the guitar. Early in the match, Mark Briscoe got knocked out, so there wasn't a referee. Aubrey Edwards was coming out, and I was like, oh no, she's back again, because I knew she was gonna screw over Jeff Jarrett. And Sanjay Dutt stopped her. She was like, no, and then Karen Jarrett came out and just yeeted her in the face with the guitar. So that was pretty funny, and the crowd really popped for that, because that's when the crowd really started picking up a little bit for old Karen Jarrett. So yeah, man, FTR ended up winning because Jeff Jarrett got into Mark Briscoe's face. He was like, man, do your job. He started pushing him and slapping him around, and Mark Briscoe was like, I ain't taking this shit no more, and he pushed him into FTR, hit Jeff Jarrett with the big rig, got the 1-2-3, and they're still your AEW Tag Team Champions, which is cool, man. That's cool. Good for them. The FTR and Mark Briscoe hugged after the match. So, cool. But it was still kind of like, all right, man, I need the show to pick up a little bit. And I figured this would be the point where it would pick up. And that was the match between Christian, Cage, and Wardlow for the TNT Championship in a ladder match. And Christian is a freaking menace because this dude is continuing to come out in a sleeveless turtleneck. And I'm like, this dude is like the ultimate super villain. And Wardlow and Christian Cage ended up having a pretty solid ladder match. There were shenanigans. Luchasaurus came out. Arn Anderson came out. And for some reason, I don't know what possessed this man to do it. I'm calling Peter. I already tweeted Peter about this. But Arn Anderson bit that poor dinosaur's thumb off. He bit him so hard that his poor little dinosaur thumb started bleeding. I contacted Peter. Hopefully they'll get to the bottom of this and handle Arn Anderson quick and swiftly. Wardlow was busting out swanton bombs off the top of the ladder through tables on Christian. And I'm like, yo, no, well, not Christian, but Luchasaurus, I think. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And there was one point where we were thinking Christian Cage is actually going to sneak in through the back door and win the TNT title. And that wasn't the case. Arn Anderson distracted Christian. Christian fell into a powerbomb. Wardlow ended up going up the ladder, getting his TNT title back. Still your TNT champion, Wardlow. Good for him, man. It was a solid match. It was fun. I kind of wanted Christian to win, but I'm not really too mad that Wardlow won. Maybe we can start doing something to build up Wardlow a little bit more, establishing him more as a character, you know? Let's do a little bit more with him. But we did get a new women's champion in Toni Storm. So it's been reported, like I said in my predictions video, that Jamie Hayter is injured. So I kind of figured this was the route that they would go. I didn't know if they would actually have the match or just find a way to like get around the match or whatever. They actually went through with the match. Toni Storm came out first, and then they started playing Jamie Hayter's music, but she didn't come out at first. They played it again. The Outcasts brought her out. They started beating her up before the match. The match starts. Toni Storm takes advantage of the fact that the Outcasts beat up this poor woman. Toni Storm is your new AEW Women's Champion. And on the one hand, it kind of sucks because Jamie Hayter is injured. And I feel like her run didn't go as well as it should have. Like, there should be it wasn't really that good of a run. But on the other hand, Toni Storm's the champion again. She is a 2-time AEW Women's Champion. So now, maybe we can see a continuance of the phenomenal run that Toni Storm had when she was the AEW Women's Champion, except this time she won't have the whole interim tag attached to it. She's now the official AEW Women's Champion. So it sucks for Jamie Hayter, but it's cool for Toni Storm so she gets another shot to showcase herself as the AEW Women's Champion. Speaking of some championships, we had the House of Black laying out the open challenge, and who came out? The Acclaimed and Max Caster, man. Max Caster, I posted the short to this, but Max Caster came out and said he cooked Buddy Murphy a little bit and talked about how, you know, he's being cooked by a kid named Dominic Mysterio. Talking about how, you know, they're making the connection between Dominic and Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. And in case you don't know, Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews are dating in real life. Peeling the curtain back a little bit. But yeah, man, they had an open house rules match. I don't even know what the stipulation was. I think it was just a regular trios match, but with the House of Black rules added to it. No rope breaks, no countouts, and all that. This was a pretty solid match. The House of Black, man, I like the House of Black. They are still undefeated. They're still your trios tag team champions. Billy Gunn, man, daddy ass, Bill ass, he still got it, man. For I don't know how old he is. I think he's like in his late 50s, maybe 60. He can still go, man. He still looks good. He's busting out Famousers and all the other classic moves that he does, man. Billy Gunn, man, you still got it. He didn't have it enough to defeat the House of Black, but it's all good. It is what it is. It was a fun match. Pretty solid, pretty fun match. But now we go on to the TBS Championship. Taya Valkyrie challenging Jade Cargill. And shout out to Jade Cargill. Shout out to the fine, beautiful women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. In case you didn't know what Jade Cargill was doing, in case you're not tapped in, she is an AKA. It is a black sorority So she was stepping in the name of love, stepping for her sorority. It was a pretty sweet entrance, pretty cool. Came out with the pink and green gear, pink and green in her hair, pretty solid, man. And for what it was worth, the match between Jade and Taya Valkyrie was pretty solid. It was a pretty solid match. It was pretty fun. Taya held the road to Valhalla, which is the Jaded, but Jade Cargill ended up kicking out, and then a little bit later, Jade Cargill hit the Jaded on Taya and got the 1-2-3, and she's 60-0, which I thought she was already 60-0 going into this match, but apparently she wasn't. But she is now. She is 60-0. Defeated Taya Valkyrie. I'm like, all right, cool, man. That was a pretty solid match. But after the match, Mark Sterling got on the mic and said, Jade Cargill's the greatest, man. She's the GOAT. She's done it all. She's beaten everybody. There's nobody left. But there was somebody left, and her name is Kris Statlander. Kris Statlander made her return to AEW. She came back, answered the open challenge. Her and Jade had a little match, and she beat her. She is the 1-60-1. Kris Statlander is your new TBS champion. We now have 2 TBS champions. She's the second TBS champion. Pretty cool to see Kris Statlander back. I had no idea when she was coming back. Like I've said before, like the plan has always been for Kris Statlander to be the one to beat Jade Cargill, but she got injured, so we had no idea when she was coming back. So this was a very welcome surprise. I popped big for it. Big fan of Kris Statlander. It sucks that that Jade Cargill lost her title. Bianca Belair lost her title yesterday to Asuka. So all our black queens are losing, man. They had historic runs, epic runs, year-long title reigns, undefeated, 60-0, man. Congratulations to Kris Statlander, though. Great to see her back. Champion. Speaking of champion, we had the 4 Pillars match. MJF, the champion, taking on Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara came out with Ty Mello. They had the cue cards up. I'm like, okay, this is what's up. Also, Sammy Guevara has a new theme, good for him. So they're holding up the cue cards and they're saying, oh, it's a big match, but there's something also bigger. And they announced that they're pregnant. They're having a baby. Congratulations to Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara, making a baby, having the sex, making a baby. Good for y'all. Good job, baby. But speaking of good job, man, this 4 Pillars match, it delivered. It was as good as I thought it would be. It was good as a lot of people thought it would be. It was a whole lot of fun, whole lot of callbacks, a whole lot of using other people's finishing moves, their mentors' finishing moves. You saw Unprettiers and Crossroads and Scorpion Death Drops, and it was a fun match. MJF retained. He's still your AEW champion. There was a point in the match where you're thinking Jungle Boy is going to do what's necessary. He's going to finally listen to MJF and do what he has to do and use the title and hit Darby Allin. And he did. And he took the high road. The crowd didn't like it. They booed him. They wanted him to cheat and become the AEW champion. That wasn't the case. MJF is still your AEW world champion. So where do these 4 men go from here? Only time will tell. Like I said, I was wanting it. MJF's next opponent to be Adam Cole, but that doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, so only time will tell what happens with the 4 Pillars going forward. But this leads us to our main event, man. Now normally I talk about the main event first because that's like the thing that's freshest in my mind, that normally has like the hottest angle, but I saved it for last for this particular reason. It was Anarchy in the Arena. The Elite came out first, came out the Wayward Sons. It was good to see all 4 of these men come out together as a team, as friends, as family. But then you had the Blackpool Combat Club come out, and they had a live band perform their song. They performed John Moxley's song. And at first this dude came out. He was in all black. He had the black mask on. It was blackface. At first I thought it was Uncle Howdy. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But it was some dude, and some people were reacting to this on Twitter, man. It was like, yo, is this blackface? What is really going on? And on top of all that, they kept performing Wild Thing throughout the first like a good 10 minutes of this match, it was like, wow, damn, like, yo, if you don't shut up. And they kept going and going and going. I'm like, please, somebody end this. Eventually, the Young Bucks ended up super kicking this blackface dude in the face. And I was like, good job, Matt. Good job, Nick. They ended my misery, ended the suffering. But yeah, man, this was everything I thought it would be. It was carnage. It was shenanigans. There was an exploding Jordan, an exploding Jay super kick to the face. There was forks and thumbtacks and screwdrivers and eye patches and treachery and heel turn and Don Callis and Takeshita turned heel, and we're all going, why Takeshita, why? He ended up screwing over the Elite, costing the Elite the match. Will Yuta ended up pinning Kenny Omega to win for the Blackpool Combat Club. So now we're left with more questions that we have answers, which means we got to tune in to Dynamite the Wednesday to find out what exactly happened. Why did Takeshita turn heel? Is he a part of the Blackpool Combat Club? What is Don Callis cooking? I told you we couldn't trust this bald man, and now you see why. He's turning Takeshita against his friends. I guess they're friends, I don't really know. He betrayed Kenny Omega. Such treachery, such cinema, such an epic match, such blood. There was a whole bunch of blood in this match. And you also saw a pile driver in the back of a truck. Hey, that's wrestling for you. But overall, man, I did end up enjoying Double or Nothing. I feel like if this would have taken place in any other stadium, in any other crowd, it would have been, I would have liked this a whole lot better. I did enjoy the show overall, but the dead crowd kind of, hurt it a little bit for me. There were a couple matches that weren't really all that good, but that didn't hurt my overall feelings toward the show. I really did end up enjoying the show a lot. So that's why I got to give it an honorary dub, an honorary W. Did enjoy the match, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. Did you enjoy Double or Nothing? Were you watching NXT at the same time like I was? Which show did you like better? Did you like NXT better, or did you like Double or Nothing better? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Let me know your favorite match on the show. Let me know if you're still hearing Wild Thing playing in your head. Let me know all that stuff in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.